So today we are going to focus dialogue generation. And as you must have been already aware that what is dialogue generation? Whenever two or more parties are having some sort of interaction and they are exchanging their views or thoughts, then they are exchanging dialogues because obviously through sentences or phrases they are communicating to each other. So this generation of sentences or phrases is automatic, means in real environment we do it normally. But if you try to make it kind of artificially, or you want to generate it through chatbots or through some artificially intelligence enabled robots or something like that, then it becomes a quite difficult or challenging task because you may generate the random sort of dialogues, but if you want to have a meaningful conversation, then it becomes quite difficult. Recently, and means latestly, if I talk about, then ChatGPT 4, it is heavily depicting or showing the same sort of process. It is nothing but that you are giving the commands, it is responding to you. So you are having some sort of dialogue with each other. So this thing we are discussing with respect to research field, and this particular thing, dialogue generation, is quite important from research point of view also. So let's start, and we are going to see that what are the related aspects. So hey there, my name is Rohit Kumar, and today in this particular video of dialogue generation, we are going to have a particular understanding of this particular task, which is generating the dialogue. Now, when we are saying dialogue, so it might be dependent on different language models because you might generate dialogues in different languages. Additionally, you need the language processing kind of things. And specifically, if I talk about, then you need the natural language processing task. So if the human is communicating to some machine, or machine is communicating to human, or machines are communicating to each other, then in this way, depending on the kind of entities which are involved in the communication, you need to apply the specific kind of things or a specific kind of technology. So particularly, usually the systems have a particular tendency to interact with other machines or the humans on the network. And that's why if you want to make it more subtle, means at the subtle level, if you go and you want to make it more intelligent, then you need the natural language processing behind the scene. Additionally, the dialogue generation comes into picture because many times you don't have the data from your side, but you want to have some sort of data in the machine or in the network. Then automatic dialogue generation comes into picture, which is an extended part of dialogue generation. Because many times the dialogue generation might be manual or it might be deliberate, but many times it's automatic and it is random. So depending on just the use case, you may have the dialogue generation. Additionally, there are a number of different sorts of data sets already available, which might be used for dialogue generation purposes. And those specific data sets might be used for research purposes also. So there is a popular data set, which is Harry Potter dialogue data set, where they have discussed the Harry Potter related dialogues. Additionally, the Ubuntu dialogues and the Twitter dialogues, the Reddit dialogues, etc. These sort of different data sets are available, having the social media related things and the related dialogues. So if you want to train your machines, then specifically your machine will have a better idea that how the dialogues are communicated on a specific kind of platform, whether it's a sort of movie platform, whether it's a sort of social media platform, etc., etc. So you can use these different data sets for your specific purposes. Coming on to the specific implementation, so multiple libraries are already available for dialogue generation models and the related implementations. So if you are interested, you can find them on the GitHub on the related specific dedicated web portals also. Coming on to the specific data set related information, so there are multiple, including the doc to dialogue and doc to dial, and then you have the Wikitext, you have the UDC, you have the Multivol, and particularly if I say, then one important data set which is OpenDialKG. So these are some of the related data sets available. There are a number of papers related to these particular data sets which have discussed the process of dialogue generation. But before going into the depth, first let me introduce the Google Scholar to you. Hopefully most of you must have been already familiar with this particular wonderful tool, where the motto is standing on the shoulder of giants, because they are saying that we are sort of so giant pool of information that if you come on to this particular journey of research with us, then it is going to be really interesting and kind of soothing for you. So we are going to just enter this particular term, dialogue generation in Google Scholar, and it is going to suggest you a number of options. Whether you want to have a survey, whether you want to find out the related gaps, whether you want to have the reinforcement learning related papers, or you want to have the deep learning related papers focused on dialogue generation, etc., etc. So if you just simply enter dialogue generation, it will give you number of papers focused on the different aspects. And if you want a specific aspect like survey, etc., you can just send this particular search and you will find it. Then you can customize according to your research interest based on timings. If you want to last 2 years, etc., etc., you can just filter out the things. Then you have these particular papers and just see whether you have the open access or not. This is the archive papers. So here, obviously, these preprints are really available because it's an open access portal. So there you can just go and find the related papers. So deep reinforcement learning for dialogue generation, for example, one work is there, so you can just right click and you can just open it and you will find the related information. Like that, you can find number of different papers with respect to dialogue generation. Moving on to the specific details with respect to dialogue generation. So I came across this particular GitHub repository where you are supposed to find a lot more information with respect to dialogue generation, where they have discussed the kind of adversarial learning approaches for dialogue generation. They have discussed the evaluating metrics. They have discussed about the safe response problems, etc. So multiple dialogue generation related open domain things they have discussed. Then they have discussed the task-oriented dialogue generation related things. And finally, the academic conferences and the workshops have been discussed. So particularly if you are interested in dialogue generation related research or something like that, then this particular repository is going to be really helpful for you. So I think that's good enough. They have covered the number of papers also. So if you are interested, you can just simply land on to this particular repository and it's going to be really wonderful and easy for you. So that's all from my side for this particular video. Hope you must have liked some of the related information. If you didn't like, please do comment below and let us know. We'll definitely try to improve the videos in future based on your comments. Thanks for watching. Happy learning.